No, Ryan Walters got that done.
PC?
Yep.
When did they announce that?
This morning. It wasn't that long ago.
Where he came from, Missouri, right? Wasn't he in Missouri and then Illinois?
Yeah. He was there. Secondary coach before becoming PC normally.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with that. So. What day next week is the worst?
Tuesday at 6.
Or 6 o'clock after somebody's not in it?
Yeah. Just tell Zach, whoever at ESPN decided to schedule tomorrow's game for 9 p.m. Kiss my ass. Hell, when they played in the Bahamas last year, one of those games tipped off at what, 9:45, 10, something like that? Give me more of those.
Sunday's the big one.
Richard Pitino, Jennifer. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't realize they were playing each other.
In Albuquerque, did Richard win last night?
Yeah, confirmed third guy out. I don't know. Yeah.
They beat San Francisco. Good for them. That's it for us. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you guys. Yep, see you tomorrow.
And they were smashed there. Check their scores. One every game, I double figured on.
Oh my God.
Is you and that writer?
There was a couple people
on there just recording that thing. I think Gary just not. Wow, he's such an ass. I really just want to ask him. He's on with
Just did what you did.
What?
Just did what you did the last time.
Oh.
Mentally, I was like, for some reason, I just
Join the
drove.
club.
Just drove
I had plenty of time, though. I was gonna be early if I got down there, so I did not.
Once you
you do it once or twice, you learn to concentrate.
Yeah.
I think I did it for the second press conference. Because I think we were leaving, because we were leaving football. So I went straight over to Keeper, just thinking,
I think it's so much just because we were there the last time, and I kind of had a similar morning to that, and I was like, oh, I'll just go to the coffee shop, and I'll go straight from there. And just got across the brain.
I'm not. I'll be here. Jody?
oh yeah.
That's what he's, his.
I'll be silly with someone.
Yeah, I'm like, this one over here.
Questions for Coach here?
Kenny, you addressed something on your radio show last night I thought was interesting because there was a video that kind of made the rounds on Twitter of you and Elle, and you're kind of laughing with him, and some people took that as, I don't know how people took it, but some people didn't like it. And I wondered, in general, not just in that incident, but in general, what your approach has been to dealing with guys who are struggling and are having a hard time.
I wouldn't, first of all, say I was laughing. I could say I was smiling. Second of all, I think being a coach and dealing with young people, there's more than one way to get the most out of them. So L went through an emotional moment. We took him out the game. He was obviously frustrated. I made him sit with me in the front of the bench. Told him what my plan was. Don't panic. Don't be frustrated. He looked at me and said, "Coach, I love you. Thank you. Love you back. You're a little crazy, but I love you. Get ready to get back in the game." To me, that's a part of this, is that from the outside looking in, it may look one way, but the reality of it is you're dealing with human beings, not robots. And sometimes you got to find the best way to get them to see themselves differently or to get through a situation. And I think I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that there are times where I'm jumping L's behind and he's frustrated and I'm frustrated and I'm yelling. And there are times when I put my arms around him. That's coaching. That answers the question.
What, in a bigger sense, I guess, what are some of these guys? This is not an easy place to lose because there are expectations, and fans and some of us will be critical. How do you sort of make sure they're handling all that stuff okay?
We talk about it probably every day. How do we get you to be better? We talk about the responsibility of getting lost in the game, the responsibility, what does that really mean? That means you don't look around to your left or your right. You don't have time to dwell on what's on the outside. You can only dwell on how do we get better? How do we play winning basketball? How do we make turnovers less? How do we rebound better? How do we, a big one for us is we're playing good, we're in the game, and all of a sudden adversity hits and it swings their way. The momentum goes to the other team. They go on a run. How do we handle that? Right now it looks like what happens is one player decides, okay, we're down 6. I got to be the guy to make this 3. Then it goes down 9 or 12. So we have to trust each other. We have to trust the process, stay within each other, keep moving the ball, keep sharing the ball, take good shots, be solid on defense, rebound the ball, and let's get a good shot. Trust it.
Yeah. How about for you? I mean, I know this can't be easy for you. Who do you talk to that keeps you going the right direction?
A little bit of everybody, to be honest with you. The one good thing that I feel about this whole situation is that I know it's going to get fixed. I feel more bad about the kids because they deserve to have some success, but you got to earn it. So for me, I try to take myself out of the equation. I try to do whatever I have to do to help them understand and not, look, I've never lost this much, so it's hard. But at the flip side of that, it's a part of the process. It's just the reality of it. It's a part of the process. Some of this was done before I walked in the doors. And I have to look at it and not to blame anybody, find a way to fix it, to get the kids to think different, to get the kids to believe that they can win. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we are going to do.
Kenny, with Western, and particularly with Sharp in the middle, is there anything that you guys can take from Florida State, the way you attacked it and the way you wanted to attack it, that might carry over to him?
Well, I thought that after the Florida State game, the good situation in it, if there is a good situation, is that the game plan stays the same. Drive the ball, don't attack a 7'5" guy thinking that you're going to make a layup over him. Get him to collapse, make the extra pass. When we did that against Florida State, we had success. And it was the most assists we had this year. When we didn't do it and thought that we could score over the kid, well, this is the same kind of game plan. Maybe a little better shot blocker. So Western Kentucky is a very good team. They got a unique player, just like Florida State did. They can block everything around the basket. If you do attack him, you better get into his body. If not, he's probably going to block it. So.
Kenny, you've preached a lot this offseason, this current season, about just you want to lay your culture. It's win or learn, not win or lose. But do you at any point get concerned that the constant losing will start to supersede the efforts you're making in order to lay the foundation for your culture?
Great question. I can't allow it to. It's about the foundation. It really is. It's about playing the right way. It's about understanding winning basketball, not just playing basketball. Winning basketball is a little bit of the small things, setting great screens, making good passes, being a good passing team, which leads to being a good offensive team. If you're a bad passing team, how can you be a good offensive team? We're an example of that, and we're learning about that, and we're working on that every day. I don't want to, and I don't know if I can with this team, try to find another way to build a culture. I trust what the culture that we're trying to do, the foundation of what we're trying to do, is good enough. We just got to play better. We got to play more together. We got to cut out our turnovers, and we got to rebound the ball better.
Kenny, to go back to Western Kentucky, just talking about Sharp with that shot blocking. When you get into a game like this, a team might want to shoot a lot of threes because they'll be intimidated to get into the post. Do you keep like a chart with these guys to discuss it, like don't shoot this many threes or paint touch? Do you kind of go over about that?
I don't say it like that. I would more like to say, once we collapse the defense and you're open, shoot it in rhythm. Don't settle. Because what can happen is, for example, if we do a ball screen high and we get the big kid out on the floor and we drive it and you got a chance to take a layup, we take him a layup. If he's not in the game and we can post up, we're going to take a post up. So we want the best shot. We just want it to be within a flow, within a rhythm, and play together, share the ball. Let's build on the assist thing that we did the last game. Let's build on that.
Coach, I'm curious to get your thoughts on the progression of your freshmen, Fabio, Devin, Kamari, and how they've progressed at this point.
I think they all would admit that it's been harder than what they thought. I would like to say that Fabio has a confidence, and so does Kamari, and they're good players. Devin is still learning, but Devin has a way about him that he'll shoot the ball regardless. Or he forgets about the miss and shoot the next one like he's going to make it. They're going to be good players. They all, and I'm not worried about neither one of them, but they're learning. And the issue becomes they're learning against very good basketball teams. And we got to get them to continue to get better, and they are getting better.
Kenny, you mentioned that what led to your conversation with L was that he was struggling a little bit with feeling like there was a lot on him and he wasn't allowed to make mistakes and that sort of stuff. How is he dealing with just all that you guys have asked him to do to be a scorer and to be a facilitator?
It's tough. He's never had to do this before. I'm sure in junior college he was a scorer. You look at last year, he played 15, 16 minutes a game, and he came in and was like a combo guard. Now, for him and for us, we need more. He is our primary ball handler, our best ball handler, our best facilitator. He's the one guy that gets in the lane better than any other player we have on this team. Now, when you get in the lane, now I'm asking you to mix up how you do this. It's a progression of you as a player getting better. Embrace that. Don't look at that as a burden. Of course there's going to be bumps in the road. Of course there's going to be days when it's hard. There's been a lot of that. Do I want him to average 5 turnovers a game? No. Do I want him to average 8 assists and maybe 1 or 2 turnovers? Yes. He has to digest the game. This is, at the end of the day, it's an instinctive game. He's trying hard. I need more. I need more.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
All right, guys.
This is what they want me to do now.
That was my exit right there. That was my exit interview. Got both of them there.
How come was that after that, I'm really after the.
About a month.
Okay, so that would have been right around this time last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was around that, around this time, the holidays and then around the end. I just thought about that. I was thinking that was that was funny. And I'm like, should I wait for you? It was like that, but I'm like, should I wait? I got time for this. Bell runs tomorrow. At 3 tomorrow. At Pittsburgh Sunday. And then at the fall. Next 3 are the. Next job. No.
bet they would say that's better time slot. We'd be long down that. But it's at least a little more training. Some of the other matchups.
South Carolina's best running back left for us in Florida State. Anything else happens by the portal, like that's. I know A&M has got a bunch of positions in regular season. Really? Oh, yeah.
Is Katrina not gonna get the OC job, or undecided?
I think that's still, I think that's still TBD. Considering, I can't remember who brought this up, but considering it was really only the one first, like the source that was gonna happen, it might be like a message thing to see like a public reaction.
Questions for Al and Jalen?
Hey, I was wondering, were you aware that the video of you and Kenny on the bench had kind of made the rounds on social media, and he's smiling, and there were some people who were upset that he was smiling, and just wondered what you thought about that reaction to it, and what you thought about that moment with him.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I mean, I don't know why everybody's like making a big deal, honestly. I feel like your coach shouldn't have to yell at you every time, like it's a situation on the court. And honestly, like that's the relationship me and him have. Like he doesn't yell at me every day. Like he has his times where he does, and he has his times where he just comes to me, and like we just have a casual conversation. He tell me like what's going on. So that's what it was.
El, how are you dealing with just on top of the losing? There is a lot you're being asked to do. You're the leading scorer on the team. You're also kind of the primary facilitator. How are you handling some of the pressure of all this, the expectations and the losing?
Just like anybody, like in my position, like we're still learning. Like I'm still going about it the right way. I mean, sometimes I get down on myself and I have those bad games, or I have those games where I have high turnovers. But like I'm fine. Like I'm handling it well. Like things happen. Like we're not in a great spot right now, but like I'm still confident in my teammates. Like they're still confident in me. Like and they're helping me through it. So I'm good.
When you guys look at where you're at and going forward, if there was one thing you could fix first and do better first to help you win, what would it be?
Like I said a couple interviews ago, as being able to fight through adversity. Whenever things get hard, we still have to figure out what it is that we exactly have to do in order to get through that.
I would say just not getting punched in the face first in games. Like I feel like we would just start games off way better. Like we wouldn't be 0-9. Almost in every game, like we were fighting our way back, and that's been a problem. Like we're playing like really good teams. Like so, like we can't be going into halftime down 10, like or going into second or third war like down 15 and trying to fight back. Like teams are just too good. Like and it would be the same way if it was the other way around. So. I feel like that's really good for me.
Kenny has made it an effort to kind of use this season to establish his culture, not have the message of win or learn. With all the losses that have piled up to this point, does it get kind of difficult at times to buy into the culture that he's trying to lay here?
No, not at all. Like, it doesn't matter like what's going on, like what's our record is. Like I believe in KP, like I believe in our staff. I believe everything they're trying to build around this program, and I wouldn't like change my decision coming here for nothing. I wouldn't change anything that's been going on, that's been happening. Like, of course, like I hate that we're losing, but like everything happens for a reason. Like I still feel like we're gonna turn around and like we'll get a lot of people off our backs. So I just feel like we just stay confident, like we just stay patient, we just have our faith, like we'll be fine.
Jalen, can it get difficult, and L2 for that matter, if you want to address it, but it sort of seems to be a myriad of problems that keep popping up, kind of the same things, like you're stuck in the same movie over and over again?
Yeah, I'd say it sometimes seems like we're just restarting the same movie over and over at times, but I'd say behind all of the, I guess, inconveniences or the bad things that you guys see, there is growth. I will say that.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, it does feel like it's just a movie been playing over and over again, but like Jay just said, like, we do have growth. Like, a lot of guys are like really starting to get their confidence. We shot the ball like very well last game. Guys were shooting it through with confidence. So I just feel like as the season just goes on, like, guys are just we're gonna get that. We're just gonna click. Like, I feel like, so I'm not really worried right now.
Yeah, and the last game you guys had 14 assists, which was a season high. Was that growth? Was that a conscious effort to share the ball more and guys being more careful with the ball?
I believe so. Had a solid game plan, which was find one another and hit the open shot, and we did that confidently. And I guess whenever we do the game plan and do it confidently, if we get results like that.
Are there some similarities for both you guys, game plan-wise, last game to this game now, because you're dealing with a 7'5" guy who's a great shot blocker?
Oh yeah, most definitely. We just can't go in there all willy-nilly. We got things beat off the backboard. So
Yeah.
when we get in the lane, we got to make sure we're looking for each other. And when we get in there, we all need to pump fake more. Like, get him to jump, like, get into his body, like, try to get him in foul trouble. So I feel like we have the same game plan. We just execute, like, we'll be fine.
Yeah, kind of going off that, you guys played Western last year at Bowling Green. What did you take from that game that you can maybe apply to this year? Because they brought a lot of guys back.
Based off of last game that we had with them, we have to really key in on shooters and stop the roll. We have to stop the roll from getting hit, play in and play out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, really be aware of the shooters. Be aware of Davion McKnight getting in the lane, because he's getting in the lane to try to get his teammates involved. So we got to make sure we keep him in front, try to keep him out the lane as much as possible. And when he is in the lane, and we just got to make sure, like, our bigs aren't helping up, like, they're staying back, because when he does get in the lane, he's looking to throw the lob. Like, we just got to make him finish over us. So I feel like we have a solid game plan. If we execute that, like, we'll be fine. We all need to come down and help and box the big out, because he's going to be on the offensive glass.
And Kenny had a message to the fan base recently about kind of sticking with you guys and being true fans. If you guys had a message that you wanted to share with the fan base right now, what would that be?
You got that one.
Yeah, really just stick with us. Like, I know things are rough. Like, it's rough for us too. Like, we didn't expect to be 0-9. Like, we're the ones out there playing. Like, so, like, I feel like fans gotta, like, see it another way. Like, think about, like, how we're feeling, and not like, oh man, like, we're such diehard fans. Like, they're not representing the city well. Like, man, we're still young adults. Like, we still have kids on our team, young kids. Like all the stuff that we're seeing, like the negativity that we see on social media. Like, I just feel like people just gotta, like, calm down, like, and just stick with us, like, because we're still learning. Every single one of us, like, all of us. So I just feel like they just stick with us, like, and we're just not seeing that much negativity that we're seeing, and we just see positive stuff. Like, I feel like that'll help a lot.
Along those lines, do you guys try to stay off social media as much as you can?
It's hard nowadays, like, to stay off social media, like, with just, like, NIL going on, like, you know, like, we're young, like, we're grown up in that era. Like, it's hard, like, stuff just pops up on my phone, like, I get notification. That's the first thing I look at, like, social media. So, like, it's hard to stay off. But I mean, people are gonna say what they want to say. They can have their own opinions, but it just needs to calm down just a little bit.
Along those lines, El, did you see that Donovan Mitchell responded about the clip that people were talking about, and what did you think of him having something to say about it?
Me and Jay talked to Don a lot, so, like, we were glad that he kind of, like, stepped up and said something for us, because, I mean, we try not to say anything. So we were glad that he stepped up and just gave his opinion about it, because, I mean, he was right. Like, coach is not going to yell at us every time. Like, it's a problem. So I was glad that he did that.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.